So, given all of that, and given what happened with Andrew Thorburn, what do each of you think of the way that played out?
Well, I don't have a very clear understanding of the application and selection process that he went through, because my understanding would be that if you apply for a job, you have to make a commitment to uphold the policies of the organisation that you're working for. And, you know, all kinds of people work together with all kinds of ideas, and they are held together by the policies of the institution. And then it doesn't really matter what the individual thinks, as long as they are, you know, working within the policies of the institution. So I thought that if he was applying for the job, he should have made a committing to the policies of the Essendon Football Club. Otherwise, he shouldn't have applied for the job. So just the fact that he belonged to this or that organisation, in my mind, didn't disqualify him from being able to commit to the policies of the Essendon Football Club. I'm not sure if he was asked that question.
I don't follow football, but when I heard about this, I kind of took a dive into how it played out. And I read both the statements from the club and from Andrew. And I struggled to see, my personal opinion, I struggled to see what he did wrong. He did not write the sermons. They were a long time before the job came up. He also said in his statement that he doesn't agree with everything the church has to say. And the statement from the football club also said he hadn't done anything wrong or said anything wrong. It was more that he was aligned with an organisation, with a church that had a sermon about the subject matter. So in some ways, I can't understand why he had to step down, but of course, like you said, Diana, there has to be some kind of transparency, and you know, there has to be, you have to align values with whatever organisation you're working in.
It's a really good issue because it speaks to so many current attitudes and tensions. I have to say I was deeply shocked when he was sacked. I agree with Huda. Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. But you have to be balanced here. There's no question that Essendon was trying to stand up for what it saw as inclusiveness. That model of inclusiveness seemed to reject a very large proportion of the population. So in what sense has inclusive meant these days? So I thought it was a very bad and very weak move. Against that, it's become a sort of a free speech issue for the far right of Christianity, and it makes my blood boil when Christians on the edge say that they're being persecuted. No Christian in Australia is being persecuted. It just devalues the meaning of the term to claim that here. They may feel uncomfortable, they may feel under pressure, but ask gay people about that, or Muslims about that. Maybe it's time for Christians to suffer a bit of this. So that's the two outer prongs of the fork, if I can use that weird metaphor. I could say a lot more, but I won't.
So let me just crystallise it with one question. Was that story about faith, or was it about something else altogether?
Well, it could be about a lot of things. It might not be either or. I mean, and I think a lot of it's about perception. I mean, I think he could have made a statement saying, I commit to upholding the policies and values of the Essendon Football Club. End of story, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's as much as I can think of it.
I think it comes down to behaviour. Had he ever discriminated against anyone? Had he behaved in a way that wasn't okay? And from my understanding, he hadn't. So, yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, it is about perspective, and I'm not sure it's about faith. I think it's much broader than that. But yeah, I don't know how much more I can say about that.
In fairness to Andrew Thorburn, he was quite noted while he was CEO of the National Australia Bank for his diversity programs, for his gay pride stuff. I mean, he certainly didn't seem to go along with James Mason, the head of City on a Hill. I just think Essendon had panicked. I think if they had their time again, they wouldn't do that, and they should not, because it just created enormous tensions on both sides that would be much better not inflamed.